Hey there, this is Christina Johnson. I'm a transformational nutrition coach and founder of the Emerge Weight Loss Program. And today's training is for you if you have been wanting to lose weight, but you're struggling to either lose weight or to keep it off because you feel like you just don't have enough willpower or self-control or motivation or discipline. You know, I talk with women every week who are wanting to lose weight. And I think this is one of the most common obstacles that we talk about is just they feel like they just don't have the willpower to make healthy choices consistently. So they just can't make progress with their weight loss goal. Or maybe they lose weight, but then it comes back on because all of a sudden, they stop feeling motivated or they stop having the same level of self-control that they were able to have for a while. And, the good news is that what I've seen after working with, hundreds of women, helping them lose weight, I've been able to see what's at the root of this feeling of lack of willpower or self-control. And I've also seen that women who apply the process that I'm going to talk about with you today, they get through to the point where they feel like they are just so much more in control around food. They can eat a meal, they feel full and satisfied for hours. They're not thinking about food all day long. They're not tempted by all the food that's in their house or offered to them at work. And it's like they get to the point where they used to feel like food was in the driver's seat, and now they're in the driver's seat. And they feel just more peace around food. They feel more calm and they feel in control. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today because I know this is such a big obstacle for people. I wanted to get on and do a little mini training for you on willpower, on how to help you have more willpower and self-control, and to show you what I see is really working for the women that I'm working with. So first of all, let me know in the comments, just put a 1 in the comments if you can relate to this challenge. If you've ever struggled to eat healthy consistently because you've just felt like you don't have the willpower or self-control to be consistent. So put a 1 in the comments if you can relate. And then we're going to dive in. I've got some notes here. I didn't want to forget or miss anything. So if you see me looking over at my computer, that is what I'm doing. But what I want to do is really to go over 2 parts to this because it truly is, and it requires a 2-pronged approach to feel like you have more willpower and self-control. And I think what's missing from diets and from, what most people tell me is that they just need to, get their act together. They just need to want to eat well. They just need to, have the willpower, have more self-control. And it's like they believe that they should just be able to will themselves to have the self-control and willpower to eat healthy consistently. And what's missing is this first piece that I'm going to talk to you about. So what we need to do to have more self-control and willpower is to take this 2-pronged approach. And step 1 is to figure out what is actually causing you to feel like you don't have the willpower or the self-control. Because, if you've been around me for a while at all, you know that I'm all about getting to the root of the issue. I want to figure out what is actually causing the problem, whatever the problem is. I want to figure out what's causing it so we can have a solution that will actually address the root of the issue. And so that's where we need to start, is we need to figure out what is it that's causing you to have less willpower, motivation, or self-control. And I guess fortunately, unfortunately, there isn't a one answer that I can give you. I can't say, okay, this is why you don't feel like you have willpower every day. Because we're all different. We all have different situations and different circumstances. But what I can give to you are some general categories of reasons that you may not have as much willpower or self-control as you would like. So I'm going to go through these, and I would encourage you, if you've got some paper, maybe jot down some notes. Really pay attention to which ones you think relate to you. My guess is there'll be more than one that relates to you, and so just kind of jot down which ones you think apply to you, because then when we get to part 2, we'll talk a little bit more about what to do about it. But we have to start with figuring out what's actually going on here. So One possibility, so this is category 1, is that you're not fueling your body properly. So you're not giving your body the nutrients it needs in order to feel full and to not have cravings. This, I think, especially for people who've been on diets, especially the restrictive types of diets, this is a huge factor that causes it actually depletes your willpower. So there's a few different things that could be going on in this category. One, it could be that you're just not eating enough food. You're not getting enough calories in. And I see this often, people feel like I've got to eat really well for breakfast. I'm going to eat really well for lunch. And so they're eating, really light breakfast and lunch. They're not getting all the nutrients they need. And so then they're famished by mid-afternoon or by the time they get home from work. And by that point of the day, they're tired, they're hungry, and they just want to eat anything in sight. So, of course, you're not going to feel like you have a lot of willpower or self-control when you let yourself get to that point. So that's one issue that falls into this category, is that you're just not eating enough food. And I know it's counterintuitive. We think that if we want to lose weight, we just need to eat less and less. But I can tell you that I see over and over from the women I'm working with, that is not the solution that's working for most people. Okay, another thing in this category is that your hunger hormones are not balanced properly. So you're not fueling your body well in order to keep your hunger hormones balanced. And when your hunger hormones are out of balance, that could look like you're eating, but then you feel hungry or you're thinking about food like an hour or two later. So if you notice that you eat, but then an hour or two later, you're starting to think about food again, or you're feeling hungry, you're having cravings or feeling tempted, then that's a good sign that, some hunger hormones just aren't balanced. And when your hunger hormones aren't balanced, you're not going to feel as in control. Your brain is actually going to be telling you that you need to eat, which makes it really hard. You're going to have to constantly fight that message off. Another issue here could be that you're on a blood sugar roller coaster. And honestly, I would say for the majority of people that I talk with, they are on a blood sugar roller coaster. They're eating a meal that is spiking their blood sugar, and then it's plummeting. And when your blood sugar drops, you might have an energy slump, and so you start to crave some sugar or caffeine to perk you up. Or your blood sugar drops and you just start to crave. Your body will actually create cravings for sugar and processed carbs when your blood sugar gets too low. And so again, if you're on that blood sugar roller coaster all day long, you're not going to feel like calm and in control around food, because again, your body and your brain is telling you that you need to eat. You need to get your blood sugar back up to normal. Another issue in this category of not fueling your body well could be that you're deficient in key nutrients. And this is really common just with either the standard American diet, eating a lot of processed foods, eating out a lot, fast food, or from restrictive dieting, is that we get deficient in important nutrients, whether it's macronutrients like protein. I think most women are not getting adequate protein, or we could be deficient in micronutrients. Things like magnesium and chromium, being deficient in those will cause your body to create cravings. And so kind of the takeaway for this is if you're not fueling your body well, if you're not eating enough, if you're not eating the right combinations of food, and so that you're feeling full, if you're feeling hungry, if you're having lots of cravings, then of course it's going to be really hard to have self-control and willpower around food. So that would be one category, one reason why you might be struggling to have the willpower. So there's one. Let me know if you can relate to this at all. And then let's move on to number 2. So the second category, reasons why you just don't feel like you have as much willpower, is that you might be unaware of how often you're eating for emotional hunger reasons. So I talk about this often, but we have 2 types of hunger. We have physical hunger, which is feeling hungry because your body's low on energy. Your body needs the calories, the energy from food for you to function. So that's physical hunger. But then we also have emotional hunger. And emotional hunger are all those other times that you just want to eat. Something sweet just sounds good after dinner. Or maybe you're eating because you see something and it looks good and you don't want to deprive yourself of that. Or maybe you're eating because you're bored or stressed out. Maybe you want to eat because you just want some comfort. You want to feel soothed. Maybe you're eating because it's something fun to do, something you look forward to. There's all kinds of reasons why we want to eat, even though we're not physically hungry. And willpower alone is not going to work long term, because it's like every single time you're bored or stressed or tired or lonely, then you have to have the willpower to deal with avoiding food, avoiding temptation, avoid giving in. So what I see works is when, one, we have to become aware of, are we eating for physical hunger, emotional hunger? But then we also need tools to actually deal with the emotional hunger so that you don't need as much willpower, so that you feel more in control. So that's the second category that I feel like depletes a lot of women's willpower and self-control. The third one is another really common one, and that is, I'm kind of lumping it into a group, but it's not having a plan, not being prepared, not making decisions in advance. So here's what this might look like. Maybe you know that you want to lose weight, you want to feel better, you want more energy, but you haven't made a concrete plan. You think, I'm gonna try to eat really well today. I'm gonna try to make the healthiest choice I can when I'm at this party. But what often happens is that if you don't have a plan, maybe you had a long day at work and you're tired on the way home, and it just feels easier to swing through drive-thru and pick something up. Or maybe you're too tired to cook at night, so you just eat some crackers and cheese and have a glass of wine. Or, you think, I'm gonna try to eat really well when I'm out with friends tonight, but then the burger and fries or, that big plate of pasta looks so tempting, and so you give in the moment. And so what I have found is that, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have healthy food on hand at home and you know what you're going to cook for supper, if you don't have quick and easy options for those nights when you're tired or busy, then it's too hard. It feels like it takes too much willpower, too much self-control when you're tired and at the end of the day having to come up with a plan. Also, in the moment, when you're at a social situation, at a family gathering, if you haven't already decided what you're going to do, then in that moment, it takes so much more willpower. So the takeaway here with this one is that if you wait until the last minute to figure out what you're going to eat, when you wait until you're tired and hungry and short on time, it's going to require way more willpower and self-control than if you have a plan, if you know what you're going to do in advance. So that's the third category, is just not having a plan, not being prepared. And then the last one that I'm going to share with you is not being committed, fully committed to eating well, and not having the accountability and support to follow through. And so I think, a lot of us just know, not everyone is like this, but I would say quite a few people thrive on having external accountability. And there's nothing wrong with that. If no one knows what you're doing, it's a lot easier to make the unhealthy choice in the moment. So for some people, it's that lack of accountability that keeps them stuck, or it's just not making a firm commitment. Sometimes we need to say, okay, I am committed to eating well, to changing my habits, to having a healthier lifestyle. We need that firm commitment, the support to make it happen, and then the accountability to follow through week after week. So let me know. That is the first part, to having more willpower. Step one is really figuring out what is at the root of the lack of willpower and self-control for you. And so let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to hear if any of those categories or things that I shared resonate with you. If you think that might be, something might be at the root of you having a harder time to eat healthy consistently. These are all so common. They are definitely things that I used to struggle with, and so many women struggle with. But the good news is that when you can start pinpointing what some of the root causes are for you, then we can move to step 2, which is to create a more personalized plan to address the root of the issue. And here's what happens. When you address the root of the issue, when you fix what's going on that's causing the low willpower, the low self-control, then all of a sudden you don't need as much willpower and self-control. And so that's the goal here. So what we can do here is, based on what your root causes are, we can create personal strategies to boost your willpower. So again, I can't tell you this is the one thing that's going to work for you, but I'm going to give you some ideas that will correlate with the root causes that I just shared. So one thing I will say, and this, I mean, it kind of goes with the 4th root cause, but I think the place we have to start is getting clear on why you want to lose weight, why you're trying to improve your health, why you want more energy, whatever it is that you're working on. Like, why is it actually important to you to change your habits and your lifestyle? Because until we really get clear on what our motivation is, then it's easy to feel like it's not worth it. It is not easy to change your lifestyle. It's not easy to meal plan every week, and it takes some effort. And so we have to know, what is it that you are working towards? What is it that's making it so important? Is it so you can fit into your clothes more comfortably? Is it so that you have more energy to play with your kids or grandkids? Is it so that you reduce your risk of diabetes and other health issues as you get older? There's no right or wrong answer, but I think we always have to start with why. Why is it important to you to eat better, to make healthier choices, to have a healthier lifestyle? Then, based on what your other root causes are, one strategy that you can implement to boost your willpower would be to really focus on adding in more nutrient-dense foods to fuel your body well. So by that, I mean eating more real whole foods. So eating good quality protein, whether it's animal protein, eggs, fish, or vegetarian sources of protein. Adding in lots of leafy greens and vegetables, fruit, good quality fats and oils. All of those things are going to fuel your body well to help you feel full and to reduce the chance that you're going to have as many cravings. So that is where to start. And as well, so that one, you're adding in nutrient-dense foods with the goal of crowding out a lot of the processed foods, the foods that are high in sugar and processed carbs. Those are the foods that are going to, they're gonna cause the blood sugar ups and downs. They're gonna create more cravings and more deficiencies, nutrient deficiencies. So that is one strategy to boost your willpower, is to eat more real whole foods and to crowd out the processed foods, the sugar, the processed carbs. Okay, another strategy to boost your willpower would be to work on balancing your hunger hormones. And so this is one, I know it's not just a simple thing, but when you eat the right combination of foods at every meal, when you're getting a good amount of protein, some healthy fats, lots of fiber and vegetables, it is amazing that your hunger hormones will start to balance, your blood sugar will be balanced, and you will be able to go for hours between meals without thinking about food, without having as many cravings. So that could be a really helpful strategy to boost your willpower. Another strategy to boost willpower is to do what I refer to as an eating habits overhaul. So this is where you really look at why are you eating? Are you eating for physical hunger or emotional hunger? And really increasing awareness of the number of times you're eating for emotional hunger, and then learning tools to deal with the actual reason why you're wanting to eat, the emotional reasons, so that you can eat for fuel about 90% of the time, and then eat for joy about 10% of the time. Another strategy to help boost your willpower is to get support and accountability. You need to know your own personality type, your own, what works best for you. And for a lot of people, having external accountability makes all the difference in the world. It helps you feel more motivated and on track. And having support those weeks where maybe things aren't going well, where you're out of your routine, where you're having more cravings, having support can be that extra boost to your willpower and self-control when you feel like you don't have it all on your own. And then lastly, the last strategy to boost your willpower, and this is such a big one, and I know honestly it's probably one of the more challenging ones for a lot of people, but it's to create routine and structure. So number one here is meal planning. I know not everybody loves to meal plan. It is one of the things we do in Emerge that for many women, I mean, it takes weeks and weeks to get into a good meal planning routine. But when you have a meal plan for the week, when you know what you're going to cook Monday night for supper and Tuesday night for supper, it makes all the difference, because in that moment, you don't have to try and have the willpower to make something healthy, but you already have the food on hand. You've already made the plan. So meal planning routine is huge here. And then also planning in advance for social situations, family gatherings, eating out, just deciding before you get to that event, whatever it is, deciding in advance, okay, this is how I'm going to handle it. This is what I want to eat. Or I'm going to give myself this exception. We talk about that a lot in Emerge, is just having a plan and committing to it. It makes all the difference, because then in that moment, you don't need as much willpower because you've already made the decision for yourself. So those are just a few strategies that I have on how to boost your willpower. And truly, I can tell you that when you get to the root cause of what's causing the lower willpower or self-control or discipline, and then start implementing these strategies that I just went through, it makes all the difference, because you do feel so much more in control around food. So let me know, put in the comments, what is one thing that you could do to start boosting your willpower? What's one of the strategies I shared that you would be interested, whether you know exactly what it would look like I know when I say balancing hunger hormones, that's a process. So maybe it's something you don't know all the details of, but something you're wanting to implement, or maybe it is something specific that you know exactly what you could do. So let me know in the comments, what's one thing that you can do to, or try to figure out to boost your willpower so that you can eat healthy more consistently. Because I promise you that when you feel like you have more willpower and self-control, you will eat healthy more consistently, and the weight will start to come off, and you will feel better and have more energy and fit into those clothes more comfortably. So as we wrap up, if you are interested, if you want more personalized support and help with this, I'm going to put a link in the comments where you can book a complimentary breakthrough call with me. And this is a chance for me to help you get clear on what your goals are and what's your personal obstacles that are stopping you from reaching them. And then we can figure out if the Emerge weight loss method might be a good route for you to go to really lose weight and reach all of your health goals in a healthy, sustainable way. So I will put that link in the comments. Feel free. I would love to talk with you. So book your complimentary call. And let me know if you have any questions. Just put them in the comments as well. So thank you so much for watching today. I will talk to you again soon. Bye.